Hey, good afternoon, everyone, and we're glad to have y'all back here tuned in with us tonight. Maybe y'all are. I'm looking forward to having a great time tonight, Chad and Joey.
Yes, sir.
Glad to have old Joey back in here with us. We was just sitting here talking about the weather. Them two was talking about how cold it was where they was at, and I got out this afternoon, rode over to my mom and dad's, and I'm just in this shirt and a pair of shorts. That's one of the good advantages about being down south. Chad, how you been doing, man?
Doing good, Stacy. We got Joey out of retirement.
Yeah, we brought him out of retirement.
I'm not retired. I'm wintertime things slow down a little bit. I don't do much ball playing or umpiring and stuff. So any time that there's little room or something, I'll be more than happy to get on here. But if not, I'll be out walking and I'll have y'all tuned in while I'm walking. So I'm still a part of it. I might not be a face on here, but I'm still checking it out.
Hey, Joey, look who's in the house with us tonight. Look right there on the screen.
Big Bama Brian.
Oh, yeah?
Big Bama Brian's in the house, man. We're looking to having a good time. We got Troy Smith in here tonight from Rocco's and Mike Graham. Mike, the old man, is sitting here ready to go tonight, baby. Nathan Trimble, what's up, man? I know I missed a lot of people that first tuned in with us. Chris Russell, T-Man Alexander, got old Wayne Reed in the house with us. What's up, Scott?
Today, Scott Childers' birthday.
This was, is that right?
Yes, sir.
I
put it on Facebook.
I called Scott this morning and told him happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Scott.
Yeah. Got the North Mississippi Catfish Club in the house, and we thank you, man. And Kevin Walters and Greg Mays was the first one to pop in on the live feed tonight. Hey, Greg, I got something for you just because you're the first one to pop into this live feed. First one to come in with that popped up on my side. I don't know about y'all's, but popped up on my side.
The first one I saw, too.
Greg Mays, I got something for you. I'm going to do this right here. I've got a special gift card, and just because of this, to River Rat Reel Repair, 5 free reel cleanings if you want it. If you want it, you need to give me a thumbs up or come into the chat bar and say, hey, I want the reel cleaning, and you're going to get it, man.
Hey, I want the reel cleaning.
Joey, you
don't count.
I've got 20 setups out there, and 15 of them need to be cleaned up, and that's the truth. Stacy, you've seen them.
Got Cody Chambers. Cody, man, good to see you. Cody, one of my favorite guys out there that I watch and keep up with. Brandon Ladd, Danny Taylor, man, there's so many here. We were just talking this afternoon. We don't have any special subject, but I do want to cover a few things. Who's all on here that's planning on fishing the let me see what one of the biggest tournaments of the year. I mean, hey, it's gonna be the start of the year off, Chad.
It will. They can't get no sooner than that one.
There's 2 tournaments that's out there that's every year that seem to be really, really popular and seem to be a big attraction. This is one of them. Chad, what's the second one?
Sea Art.
3. There's one more.
Then MRM.
The MRM. And I'm telling you, if you haven't been to the MRM, the Sea Arc Invitational, or if you haven't been to the Winter Blues, and if you want to see what the tournament scene feels like, looks like, you go to one of these tournaments. The Winter Blues here on Winter, it's going to be January the 1st. And you will have a first-hand experience what a big-time tournament feels like and looks like, and you will have a blast. Whether you catch fish or not, you're just hanging out with a lot of people, talking catfishing. You'll have a blast on this.
I think they capped that tournament at 150, Stacy, and the last time I looked, it was almost full. So there's going to be about 150 boats there.
Yeah, I think the other day I seen where they and this has been a week or maybe ago. They like 19. I thought I seen somebody say they're not 19 filling or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not many.
Yeah, it's not many. So there's going to be 100+ boats that's going to be there. My partner, I hate to rub this in. I mean, Chad, I depend on him a lot. But he got to work on New Year's Day, so he won't be able to fish with me. Hey, yep. I'm going to tell you this. I don't know if y'all seen him today. He's getting warmed up. He's
talking smack Zach.
Talking smack Zach. Supposed to fish with me if he had to go off to work. I've got another guy. Matter of fact, he is in the chat tonight. And Troy Smith, I got him on standby. I don't know if y'all seen that buck that my son killed today. Hey.
That was a monster.
I won't even be able to talk to him for 4 days now.
I seen old Chad Bryant. Old Chad Bryant got on and said next year that deer probably would have been a shooter.
Hey, what did Zach say? Zach said it won't be no next year for this.
Hey, he's as big as he's gonna get.
Hey, Chad, Stacy showed me them pictures of that buck a few days ago, and I said, y'all might as well go ahead and name him Tenderloin because his days are numbered.
Yeah.
I think he had maybe 3 or 4 days after I tried to give him a warning, but
hey, Dale Dunaway's in here with us tonight.
Hey, let me ask y'all. Hey, let me see. Chad Bailey, just out of the Wild Blue, you can text me. Are you able to jump in on the program tonight, Chad? If you are, I send you an invite, man. If you're able to, just send me a text and say, "Hey, I'm able." Chad said, I think Chad Bailey was referring to the Winter Blues. Hey, we may need to grow us a beer.
Man, and you know, that tournament, you never know what kind of weather you're going to have for it either.
No, there.
That time of the year on Wheeler, it can either be sunshine and 70, or one year they had it. I didn't fish it that year. They said people's trolling motors was freezing up on the boats. They couldn't hardly get the boats off the trailer.
Hey, Joey, remember that day we were talking about extreme catfishing?
Yeah.
Well, Winter Blues has a tendency to offer you extreme catfishing. Hey, Chad, it's been pretty consistent at doing that, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Well, I can tell you this. If there's 150 boats and it's extreme, there's still going to be 140 boats. So you might as well get ready because there's some catfishermen I never claim to be very smart. I won't speak for y'all too, but when it comes to catfishing, I know unless it's an ice cold rain, that's like Stacy, one of Stacy's buddies said, I can fish in there's a difference between the cold and the cold rain. I can fish in about any kind of cold weather, but with it raining or something like that, I'm out.
Michael Hilliard said the day that me and him went out, he said he can fish in the cold and he can fish in the rain. He just don't like fishing in the cold rain.
Well, there you go. I'm out. But it don't matter what kind of weather to be. They'll still be there. They'll still be ready to fish.
I met Stacy the first time I ever got to fish with Stacy. I met him down there at Safety Harbor, and I'll never forget it. It was 19 degrees in December, and I was driving around to go fishing, and I was thinking, man, I don't know about this. We got to the boat ramp, and the boat ramp was iced over. It was cold that day.
I remember seeing y'all's feed. Remember you had on the big coveralls.
Chad, you know that you really have to question yourself is when you put your boat in and you know you pull the truck back out and you're coming back from the truck to go get in the boat. There's 2 old guys sitting in a truck, you know, they just out there observing what's going on. And one of them rolls the window down, looks at me and says, "Are you crazy?" And I looked at him, I said, "Sir,
probably.
I probably so." Yeah, I would say so. But I won't never forget them 2 old men. They were just sitting right there at the boat right in the truck. They looked at me and said, "Are you crazy?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, one thing I'm interested in checking on, Stacy, I'm sure you've seen them around. They make a little diesel heater that you can put, and it runs off of like a gallon or a gallon and a half of diesel fuel, and you have vents. You put them in your console just like vents on your car. I don't have any experience with those, but I've seen them, and I want to do a little more investigating on those.
Hey, let me say, hold on. Nathan Trimble said if it's really cold, he's going to find someone with a heated enclosure and just hook his boat to there and get in there with him.
That's right.
Hey, not a bad idea. I think today when I talked to Scott, I don't know if he's in here today, Scott Childers or not, but he told me, he said he going to have his enclosure on ready to go.
Yeah. That sure would be nice. I see JR, I think's got one of those diesel or whatever they are. And that right there, I guess if a man's going to do it, that right there is how to do it. That's for sure.
Hey, listen, we thought we were doing good when we got a top on our boat so we wouldn't get rained on when it was raining.
That's right. Hey, I do got the old my buddy heater is what I always take with me, and that thing does good. But I never have. I've never even fished in in full enclosure. And here in Kentucky, let me tell you, that wind gets blowing on that river. It's extreme. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah. JR's in the house with us tonight. He said, "Y'all come on by and check out his heater."
Yep, they caught a big one today. I'm saying.
Today?
The big one.
I think got a good fish.
I think I seen where it was like 99 pounds or something. He had a couple old fellas out, and I watched it. And if y'all get a minute, go there to his page and watch it. Them two old guys was tore up worse than a can of kraut. I'm gonna tell you, they was. You just gotta go check them out.
Guys, if you want to. If y'all want to catch him out, I don't know if it may be on J.R. Hall's page or it may
Black
be
Sheep Catfishing.
Black Sheep Catfishing. Guys, he's a guy here on the Tennessee River. You can go check him out. Look him up. If you're looking for somebody who's looking for a guided fishing trip in this area, feel free. 99.2 is what he weighs, is what he just put up on here.
Stacy, he said it was 40 in the 40s where they was fishing today, and in his boat it was 82 degrees. So I don't guess JR likes that extreme catfishing too well.
Well, JR may need to watch for Nathan Trimble trying to tie his boat up behind him at Winter Blues.
Yep. They catch some good ones.
Yeah, I'm telling you, 99 pounds. I don't care where you. That's a big fish.
That's a dandy.
But Chad, the Winter Blues is coming up on January the 1st. I'm looking forward to that.
I am too.
We have the next big tournament at that, the Sea Art. I think they didn't put the.
They usually do it sometime in April, don't they, Stacey?
It's going to be the end of April, like the last week in April. I know they didn't put the dates and stuff up. You can go on Sea Arc Invitationals. I think there's a Facebook page, Sea Arc Invitationals page, but they didn't put the dates up on it. And guys, that right there will be another. If you own a Sea Arc or have a buddy who owns a Sea Arc, go jump on board. If you never fished a big tournament, you will love just the camaraderie and hanging out with the guys and so forth. What else y'all got?
Hey, Joey, I got to tell you, I called Stacy the other day, and Zach was there, and Stacy was telling me Zach was going to fish him. And you know, Zach likes to talk a little smack.
Oh yeah.
I told Zach, I said, man, I know what I'm going to do to disable y'all at that tournament. He said, what's that? I said, I'm going to cook y'all some ribs and some chicken wings, and y'all have so much barbecue sauce on your hands that if a rod goes over, you ain't going to be able to reel on him.
That's fine eating, that's for sure.
There was one day me and for the people that's tuned in, I'm going to tell you what kind of friend we got in Chad. Me and Joey is fishing on Wheeler Lake. He calls me. Can y'all get over here to the boat ramp? I got chicken. I think it was just that day you might have had chicken wings.
It was just wings that day, yeah.
Man, I'm talking about a big old pan full of them. Me and Joy was eating wings and throwing bones, man.
That's right. That's a fact, and they was pretty scrumptious. That's for sure.
Yes, they were.
Hey, somebody asked over here, I think it was Marcus Whitlock, asked if it was ever too cold to bump. Now, Stacy, I know you hadn't been bumping very long, and I haven't either, but I remember when Danny Huffman was on here, he said when that water temperature gets down around 60 degrees, he quits it.
Yeah, and I remember he said that, and that was what Danny Huffman said below 60, that he pretty much stops the bumping. I want to think that's what he said.
That's the way here around here. Now, I'll say this. In Alabama, when they drag baits in 4 channel Churchwell drags baits in 2 foot of water when it's 6 below zero. I wouldn't be scared a bit to bump baits at them dam areas in Alabama all winter long.
Yeah.
At least try it out.
I know the last 2 trips I went out, Chad, and that's here at the house, and the water temperature has been right on 60, and I've caught some fish bumping.
Yeah.
I just put up right behind them dams, throw my anchor out, anchor down, and that's what I done was bump. And I have caught some doing that. But I remember what he said. I tried to. I did not move with the water. I anchored my boat down and just slow and try to
walk bait.
Just walked them that down through there real slow. You know.
Where does what part of the country does he normally fish at?
He fishes right around Wheeler. Marcus Whitlock. Ain't that who you see it? Put that on there.
Yeah, but Danny Huffman fishes over on the Mississippi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
Joey may have froze up on us.
We done. He's Joey, you still there? No, he done froze up. There's another thing that I don't know. Me and Chad was talking there. We had our name in the list. I don't know if anybody's in here that's on that's planning on fishing the Megabucks Tournament. But the Megabucks Tournament, they're going to have a drawing Thursday night. Somebody has done dropped out, and there's 19 people on that list, and they're going to draw for that empty spot Thursday night. I seen Austin Knight was saying he hoped he got it, and so
I hope he don't. I don't want to hurt his feelings. I hope me and Stacy Gaston get it.
I hope we get it. So I was excited about when that popped up, and I never thought it to sold out that quick, but it did. So looking forward to seeing what happens, Chad, if we get our name on that list Thursday night or not.
Yes, sir. You know, that thing filled up in like 5 or 6 minutes. It was insane how fast it filled up. And I remember you calling me that night and saying, man, as soon as I clicked on the register button, Glenn said, oh, no, it's full.
It's over. It was. Hey, what's up, Al St. Cyr? Al's out there in Texas. Great catfisherman. He's one of them shallow water catfishermen. Al, great to have you tuned in with us this afternoon. Joey, what else you got over there, man? Is he still froze up?
Well, he came back in, but I think he froze up again.
Yeah.
Stacy, there's a couple more people on here saying Tackle 22 says North Alabama's Catfish Tournament Trail. That's Lisa Haraway's new trail. It's going to be January the 25th out of Joe Wheeler. Let's see. Somebody said they couldn't wait for the Cat Masters in Texoma. And somebody said, don't forget about Winter Whiskers in February.
Yeah, I just put that. The Winter Whiskers in February is Seth Hendricks. And the Tackle 22 just put up here, the North Alabama Catfish Club is Lisa Haraway. They are taking over, sort of doing a chain of events here on the Tennessee River. Guys, if you're in that area looking for a great trail to follow, jump on board with them right there. Should be a great turnout. Chad, I say, Chad, we need to see if we can't hem J.R. Hall and have him on our program one night.
Yeah. I think he's already left out. He said he had to jump off. He'd see us later. So.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Cody Chambers put on here, they having the Georgia versus Alabama this Saturday on Weiss Lake.
Yeah. I think Aaron Churchwell was going to fish that one.
I did. I think when I talked to Churchwell the other night, he said something about that. I think they had about 20 boats maybe from each side or something, or 10 boats, total of 20 or something other.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's up, Eric? Eric said he loves fishing in that cold water. Well, I can tell you.
I don't love it so much. I do it, but I don't love it so much. And my wife tells me there ain't no way she's getting out like that. She's a fair weather fisherman. If it's going to rain or the wind's going to blow or it's going to be cold, she ain't getting on the boat.
Oh, I will say this, guys, if you're looking for trophy catfish, to me, and I've always done this for the last several years, from Thanksgiving on out to somewhere around March and April. To me, that's trophy catfishing weather, man. So, guys,
I've caught a lot of good fish in October.
Yeah, it seemed like when that water makes a transition to go down, and it starts to make that transition to go up. Man, it seems to be a key factor.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but Chad and Joey can help me out with this. Just by fishing in these times, it seems like them fish start to move from one place to the other, or I've always said they go to feed on a feeding frenzy. When that water temperature starts to drop, it lets them fish know that wintertime is on the way.
They better feed up.
They feeding up.
Fires them up.
They, in the dead of the winter, now they've just been sitting around, and that water temperature starts to warm up. Their metabolism starts to move again and heat up a little bit, and here they go again, man. It is it's a prime time.
Now, this Ohio River right now is about the next month and a half or so. It should be ripe catfishing, trophy catfishing.
Yeah. I love the trophy catfishing time for me, man, is this time of the year. I mean, I really love it. And I will say I'm further down south than anybody, so it don't get near as cold where I'm at. It's where Joey's at, but I really love that right there this time of the year. If I had my choice, I would take off the month of March. I would I would fish every day. Every day. And I'm going to tell you something, because there's a good chance, man, when you leave out, you're going to catch your fish of a lifetime. It's just been one of them seasons for me that March has been,
it's been good to you, hasn't
it? March has been really, really good to me. And once you set a pattern, you have a tendency to fish more during that time of the year. So that increases your chances on top of everything else. So,
man, I started to say I was right there with you, but I might have to take off the whole month of May.
Yeah, hey, that's good too. And go up on Gunnersville and spend
get on some flatheads.
And hey, if you had a couple of weeks to fish for flatheads up there, I would have a lot of confidence that, hey, we may break the state record.
There's no doubt in my mind. And I fished up there quite a bit, and we've done pretty well. But I've spent a little bit of time the last couple of weeks, 3 weeks down on Wheeler. And man, I think there's some places there that can be just as productive as up there at Gunnersville.
Yeah, I think me and you talked about this, that I believe that Wheeler is probably just as good. It's just something nobody's ever really focused on, but
targeted.
Get out of that lake, get up in that river, and anchor on that structure. Most people that fish Wheeler want to be down the lake and drag baits. But I promise you, if you get out that lake in the wintertime and get up there where there's a little bit of current so you can control the anchor and fish on that structure, you're going to probably put some hogs, some old big flatheads in the boat up there too.
Yeah. I honestly believe, and tell me if you think I'm right or wrong, Stacy, I believe the section of that lake from Ingalls Harbor to Browns Ferry Nuclear Plant gets completely overlooked.
Oh,
people,
there ain't no doubt. There ain't no doubt.
And I think if somebody really spent the time and checked it out, I believe there's probably some fish to be caught there.
I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna tell you two that know where it's at.
Hey, there ain't no doubt.
I can promise you. Hey, Samantha's smiling and laughing right now because I can promise
there
you.
Ain't no doubt.
So
they spend some time, but I've been wanting to do that, and I just haven't taken the time to do it. But I would like to spend a couple days in that area just scanning and looking and seeing what you could find. I bet there's some really good structure.
Hey, there's a testimony right there. Look what's on the board.
Oh man, I didn't know that man owned an anchor.
Hey, he says that them flatheads are addictive when he's tied to a rope.
Hey, I met Wayne to fish up there one day, and I asked him if he had to go buy an anchor before he left home that morning.
Hey, I will say this, Marcus is wanting to tell everybody there's no catfish in that stretch of the river. Get out of it. Go fish somewhere else.
Man,
Go down to the
I
dam.
think he might be fibbing.
Hey, we know where he's been fishing at lately, don't we, Chad?
We do.
Oh man.
Hey, I know there was at least one good fish up above Ingalls Harbor 3 weeks ago.
Hey, there ain't no doubt. There ain't no doubt. What was that one, Chad?
79.6 on the scales. We caught him at 8:30 in the morning and held him all day. So I believe he was probably bumping 80 when I put him in the bottom of the boat.
Well, he was bumping 80 when you brought him to the scale. Oh man, there ain't no doubt. That right there was a good fish right there.
And I believe Pickwick gets overlooked a lot too.
Hey, and I'm gonna go back to this. And I here the last several months, man, I have went back to doing a lot of anchor fishing.
Yeah.
And
you and I have talked about this a lot.
Anchor fishing is where my roots is at. You hear them talk about I'm going back to my roots. Well, anchor fishing, man, is all I've ever done. And I got addicted to dragging, and I still drag baits a good bit. But when I'm go down on Pickwick, I'm like, man, if I can find a river with structure, it's going to be hard to keep me off of that anchor. And especially if I got an anchor man like Joey.
That pulls it all the time.
Hey, don't think, son, I won't cover. Hey, Chad,
fish 15 spots.
You hear about people covering water dragging? I'll cover some water anchoring if I got me an anchor man with me.
Yeah.
Because I'll pull up and I'm like, hey, 20 minutes, we gone. 20 minutes, we gone. And just boom.
How many times have you and I talked about it? You start listening and watching and paying a little bit of attention. And when you see these 80, 90, 100-pound fish that are being caught, a whole lot of them are caught off the rope. A whole lot of them.
Chad Badgett said that's how Joey lost all his weight.
Oh, hey, I want to tell Chris a special thank you. What that guy did for us was just over the top.
Man, Chris, I can't express, man, what you done for us.
Hey, hang on. Look right here. I got mine right here. Look here.
Show it off.
That's just over the top. I can't thank you enough.
Hey, here's a question right here. Do you guys? And this was asked to me the other day. Somewhere it popped back up. The small bait versus the large bait. And guys, I'm going to encourage you, if you in the chat, you may tune in and throw something in there about what you think. I'm going to say this. There's anytime when I fish, now I am a big bait guy. I mean, that's my go-to. But now just because I sit here and tell you, hey, I'm going to be chunking skipjack heads, I'm going to have cut pieces on there. I'm going to have some smaller than them big. And there's times I've seen, and whether anybody believes this or not, there's been times that I have put the heads down because I'm just not catching them on them heads. I'm catching them on a smaller piece of bait. So I always tell people, hey, I'm going to put some smaller stuff out there too. Wintertime is the same way. If I'm fishing in a boat with me and Chad, I'm going to try to make sure that we got half of our rods, maybe with some big baits, but we're going to try to have a variety of different
And you'll
things.
figure out a pattern.
Yeah, and just go with that pattern that you start seeing. Try to remember, hey, I caught this one on a small cut midsection, or something like that, a smaller bait. And the next time you ever catch 2 or 3 on the same thing, I'm like, man, we ain't catching one of them big baits no more. Then I want to try to switch up and put everything about that size.
Stacy, I know you've heard this story one time. We were fishing a tournament and we were getting dinked to death. And my partner, John, said, I'm going to stop all this right here. We need an under anyway. And he put on a number 2 hook, not a 2-aught hook, a number 2 brim hook, and put a piece of chunk bait on, smaller than a dime. And he threw it out. And before he hit the bottom, a 58-pound fish smoked it.
on a number 2 hook.
On a number 2 hook. We had to fight that fish forever.
Chad, what was you saying when all this time going on?
Oh, man. I was like, oh, you got to be kidding me. We had to fight that fish forever.
Oh. Hey, and people thought we were joking. Joey's put on here, don't leave the tail out.
I caught a lot of fish on.
Me and Joe was up there, and we catching fish, and we was up there fishing. And I made comment to him. I said, man, my buddy Jesse Kilpatrick used to fish. We fish with the tails all the time. Joey hooked one on there and threw it out. And I'm telling you, they went to smoking that piece. And every piece he put out, he put one on that tail section on there. I said it just sits there and rolls back there and causes a little bit of something other going on. I don't know what it is, but
when I fish with them, I start at the very, very back of the tail and kind of fillet it up both sides of that spine and leave about 1 inch, and that's where I hook it. And so it just kind of sits there and flaps.
Just sits there and flaps. Mm-hmm. And that was the way my buddy, he always fished with the same way. Sitting there in that current, flapping back and forth. Oh. I reckon Mike Pence has got a good idea. He said even a fat man eat a piece of popcorn.
Hey, that ain't no lie, is it?
Hey, you got that right.
Kevin Walters put on here, I don't think there ain't a good place to fish on the Tennessee River. There's no place in the world like it, a little piece of heaven. And I'll tell you, we are truly blessed. I only live about an hour and a half away from that lake, and it's an amazing fishery.
Yeah, yes, it is. And I'm going to tell you, me and Joey's talked about this. I live out here on the sort of South Alabama, fish a section of the Alabama River. If you catch a fish that weighs a 50-pounder has been the max for me. I've never broke the 60-pound mark on the Alabama River. If you break the 50-pound mark, I mean, you done caught a big one. 35, 40 pound is about, you catch one like that, hey, you done something. So to go to the Tennessee River, man, and get up there on a place like that and go to smoking 20s and 30s and 50s and I'm like, my Lord of mercy. It's like heaven to a catfisherman, man.
Me and Stacy's always talked about it. And I tell you all the time, when I talk to you and you're out there fishing, you're only one bite away from the state record. And when you're fishing that Tennessee River, man, you never know. You just never know.
And I don't know what everybody else, and I have been, I'm going to say it this way. I have been blessed to catch some monster fish up on that river. And my mindset when I'm out there is, fellas, the next pole that goes down may be the state record.
It could.
I mean, because I listen, I done caught a bunch of fish up here that's been over 50, 60 pounds, and done caught a bunch of several that's in the 90s. I'm like, the next fish, and you just sitting there and anticipate. I don't know how you do it, Chad. I'm sitting there anticipating. Yeah, the next rod that goes down may be 100-pounder, and it could possibly be a 100-pound fish.
It absolutely could. And I've personally seen with my own eyes a fish that weighed 117 pounds.
Yes.
That came off that Tennessee River.
Mike Mitchell caught him. Yeah.
Yes. I helped release that fish. And I mean, it's unbelievable.
It is. The Tennessee River is, I know there's some more places that's out there. The Mississippi River is one of them places.
The James.
the James River up there around Bugs Island and stuff.
Bugs Island, yeah.
Yeah. I know them some good places too. I've never fished them. I've never fished up in the East Coast. But from what I fished, the Tennessee River, man, the Mississippi River is I heard George Young and them talk and brag for years on, the next world record could possibly come from there.
Oh, it could.
I didn't know so much about it because I didn't fish the place so much, but I'm telling you, if you know how to fish that Mississippi River, there's a great possibility the world record could come from right there.
Yeah.
It is difficult to fish because if you've never fished it, you don't know what current is until you fish the Mississippi River. I promise you.
Hey, old Joey Kirby said you can come to these lakes down here too and get skunked.
Hey,
they will humble you on certain days.
I'm going to say that I'm going to throw this out there. They had a person told me one time, said the only reason you catch all them fish, you fish them on the Tennessee River. We're going up there to fish. Well, they went up there to fish and fish for 2 or 3 days and didn't catch nothing. I said, sometimes it just ain't as easy as what it appears to be.
Yep.
It can be very humbling.
Yeah,
I talked to a friend of mine just this past week, and he had called me. He had went up and fished on the Tennessee River at around Thanksgiving for a couple of days. Fished for 2 or 3 days, just caught 2 or 3 fish in 2 or 3 days. And he was really discouraged. I said, man, I have been there and I have looked and I have fished and fished and fished and fished. And I've looked at Joey and scratched my head. I says, just tell me somewhere else we need to go. I just really don't know where else we need to go try because I can't catch them. I don't know if anybody else has ever dealt with that. But there's been many a time I'm just like, I'm just to the point of wanting to give up today. I just don't know where they at.
And that happens when you usually think you got them figured out.
Hey, well, and it's interesting that you said that, Chad, because I made a comment. I thought to myself, hey, I've done got pretty good at this. You know what I mean? That's what's going on in my mind. I'm like, man, I've done got pretty good at this. I'm smoking these jokers every time I come up here. My confidence is way up there. And I think the next trip after fishing for about 3 days, I'm just scratching my head. I'm like, well, evidently I wasn't near as good as what I thought. I ain't even gonna fish, man.
Yep, it can humble you real quick, but it's a great fishery. If you've never come fished it, man, fish it, enjoy it. Just keep an eye on the weather in the wintertime because Wheeler Lake can get ugly fast.
Yeah, I think that, and I'm going to emphasize this as we're getting ready for winter blues. I have people that contact me. I know you may probably too, Chad, that we're coming down. We never fished Wheeler Lake. We never fished Wilson Lake. Is there something that we should watch out for? And the first thing I tell them, watch out for the wind. And and guys, I'm telling you something. I'm not joking with you. I'm not exaggerating with you. I'm not playing no games with this. If you not got a boat that can handle rough water, you need to watch that wind.
And if it's over 15, don't even get on.
Well, the last time it ain't the last time I was out, but the last time I was out with a rough wind, me and Joy was out fishing, and we was there at that. I was out, to me, it was my cutoff. I'm like, I don't want it no rougher than this.
Yeah.
And I remember looking at my phone, looking at the weather, and I said, I want to see what the wind is blowing right now. And it was 15 miles an hour. And I made a note. If it's over 15, I'm not coming out. I'm like, I need to go hide from the wind somewhere, get off of this lake. My boat can handle it, but I'm telling you, I didn't want to handle it.
Yeah, you beat to death at the end of the day.
It was just, I couldn't do what I wanted to do there.
Wow.
And I'm like, 15 miles an hour is, I wouldn't, I'd go up in the river somewhere or something where I could get around curves and stuff. If you go up Wheeler Lake and you leave Elk River headed towards Decatur, and that wind is blowing 15 miles an hour out of the west, going back east, I'm telling you what you better have you a good boat.
You're going to find out when you come around that point at Elk River.
Yes, sir. I'm telling you something. It's going to get dangerous.
Always around Mid-Lake, around Brown's Ferry and stuff is usually the roughest part of that lake. That's where it starts choking or starts widening out, and that's usually the first place it gets bad.
I don't know if he's still on here or not.
And it'll get bad.
If Brian Taylor's still on here on the Sea Arc Invitational, it was rough that day. And we sit around and waited for a little while. And I said, well, hey, it looks fine. We're going to go on out there and head down the river. And we got down there about where the nuke plant's at. I thought I was out there in the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah, it's rough.
I'm telling you, it's bad news. So, guys, just make a note of that right there. When you up there fishing, if you think about coming fishing that lake, please watch the wind, because if not, you're wasting a trip. If the wind's up there 15, 20 miles an hour, I'm telling you, you ain't going to be able to stay out there.
You know, I've got an app on my phone, and you know it because when you're coming up, you'll call me and ask me what the wind's going to be doing. It's called Windy, Windy, and it's pretty close. It's a great app.
Yeah. And that's what I always tell people. Just watch that wind. When it's out of the west, it's probably the worst when it's blowing against that current.
Right.
Coming straight out of the west. And between Elk River and Decatur is a long stretch. I would say, is it 10 miles up that stretch?
Probably close.
At least, I would say at least 8 miles. It's just a long stretch. And if that wind's, and it's laying east and west in there. And if that wind's blowing west, and if there's a good bit of current coming down, it's blowing against it, I'm telling you, it's going to get ugly.
And Wilson does too. You know, Wilson's just wide.
The Wilson Lake is the lake where my wife said she's through with it. And that day I was in my old G3 boat. It was so rough that it knocked her out of the chair. She was in the floor. And I was just telling her to hang on. I cannot stop. And it went through my mind that day, I'm fixing to sink this boat.
Well, we were in Winter Blues when it was so bad, when all those boats went down. And we came out and we made that turn, headed down river. And we took 2 or 3 right over the front, just right off the rip. And me and John looked at each other and said, hey, we can't do this. I said, we're going to fish it. We got to go up in the river. And we turned and we went up in the river. And we made it to the I-65 bridge before I got the call that said they had canceled it. So we turned and started back toward the boat ramp. And what is that, Stacy? Probably 2 miles, maybe?
Yeah.
And we were coming back. And when we made that turn and started coming back, I dug life jackets out. And I looked at John one time and I said, listen, I said, just get us close enough to that bank over there that we can swim.
It's done got serious then.
I mean, it was that bad. And I think there were 4 or 5 boats that did take on a lot of water. I don't know if you really want to call it sunk, but they took on a lot of water.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, is there anything last Bama Blues tournament? Oh,
hey, and I'll tell everybody something else if they're coming down to Fish Wheeler that they need to watch for, and they need to have a map card if they're coming out of Ingalls Harbor.
Tell them about it.
You'll see this great, big, wide, pretty lake and think, What you don't realize is there's only about this much of it that's deeper than 20 foot deep. The rest of it you can walk on.
Yeah. That needs to be stressed. If you leave Ingalls Harbor and you head towards the nuke plant, you need you a map. A map.
You need a map, or you need to be able to see them buoys one.
Yes, and stay between them.
You better stay in between them buoys.
Chad, the first time me and my wife I think we was on Wheeler Lake, we come up that way. I'm running down the river in my old G3. I ain't paying attention, just running. And I felt my boat start slowing down and my skeg was hitting the bottom. I looked over. I could have got out and walked. I'm like, my Lord, here I am out here in the middle of this lake, and it ain't 2 foot deep out here.
Well, me and John were fishing it one day, and we were coming up the river, and he said, "What is that over there?" And I looked out in the middle of the lake, and there was a boat. Just a little aluminum boat, a little flat bottom John boat. But there was something beside it, and we couldn't not figure out what in the world it was. And the closer we got, he said, "That's somebody standing there. They were standing out there duck hunting in the middle of the lake." It's real super shallow from there all the way down to about Brown's Ferry, and then it starts deepening on up. You can run wherever you want to, but that stretch right there will get you in trouble.
Lisa, I'm going to agree with you on that. I've made a vow to myself. I would not go out if I cannot. I would not go out on a rough day before daylight, or if I cannot see.
Yeah, no.
I just will not do it. There's some things with my boat I can control if I can see the waves coming. Yeah. I know when to slow down, when to try to speed up and go over them. But if you can't see, you don't know when you need to be speeding up or slowing down. And next thing you know, a wave done broke over in the front of your boat. And it's over then.
Yeah.
That
you don't know when you're going to get turned, and you can take them over the front as long as you got a bilge pump. But you get turned and those things start coming over the side or over the back, you're in trouble.
Yeah, ain't no doubt. Hey guys,
Nathan Williams said they ran around on Pickwick in the first 5 minutes they were out there.
I believe that too. And I want to say this, Chad. If the people does not, and you may be thinking, well, I don't have a map on my unit. That's all right.
Put Navionics on your phone.
Download. I'm fixing to see if I can pull this up. Download
the Navionics boating app.
It's this thing right here called Navionics boating app. You can download it, and it's live. It'll keep up with you right where you're moving at, showing you right where you at on that lake. As you move down, it's going to connect to your GPS, and it's going to show you. You can do it on your phone. It's going to show you all the contours, all the river channels right here on your phone. Chad, I see a lot of times in my extra time, I'm sitting here studying that map.
Oh, there ain't no doubt.
I'm looking at contours. I'm thinking about it. So, guys, it ain't just good for traveling. But you can study this thing. When I get ready to go fishing, especially a new body of water, I don't know what everybody else does, but I study that map. I sit there and look at it and stroll up and down it and looking for places that I want to fish.
Yep. Except for the Mississippi River. It don't do you a whole lot of good on the Mississippi.
No, it don't. I was lost in the Mississippi River my first time when I didn't get over and my maps wasn't working.
Yep.
Yeah. Chad, you got anything else? Lisa, we give you a shout out a while ago about your catfish trail. If you can, pop it up back on the thing right here. We tried to make sure people was aware of this right here. We appreciate everything that y'all doing. And thank you, Lisa, for all the stuff y'all do for the catfishing family.
Jerry Turns asked what that app was called again. It's called Navionics Boating App.
Yeah. You can, and I'm going to share this. If for the ones who do not know, you can pull your computer up, Google Navionics web app. It'll pull it up. This is free versions that you can just go look at. Now, you can, I think on my phone, I pay
$15 a year.
Yeah, I bought the subscription to it because it's got more details and stuff like that, and I do use it. So, how much was it, Chad?
It's $15 a year, I believe, Stacy.
Yeah. So I think
$14.95, something like that.
Yeah. But there is a free version that you can go to on the computer. I know it's called Navionics web app, and it'll show you the basic stuff that's on there. But if you don't have it or no kind of Navionics card in your unit, download it, pay $15 a year. Hey, and you got everything you need right there on your phone.
You can use it to mark stuff. You find a spot you want to drag, you mark it, and it's worth $15.
Yeah, Kevin Walter said $14.99 is what it is. It's worth every bit of it.
Every dime.
Yeah. Navionics is also on these lake depths was perfect. The Ohio River, it was not accurate. What I found, this is what I have found out, and I will say the water lake fluctuates some, and it may not be accurate to the foot, but it will tell you will be able to see where deeper water is and shallow water, with no doubt.
Well, the one thing about it, I mean, if you got that app on your phone and you're sitting on the lake and it says, hey, I'm in 5 foot, and you look at your fish finder and it says you're in 3 foot, well, then you know you're 2 foot off.
Yeah.
You know, hey, Wayne Reed said, remember that winter pool is 5 foot shallower than your map show.
Hey, and I'm going to share this. And for the ones that don't know this, if I know with Humminbird, I can go in on my Humminbird
and set your offset.
So just the way the Wayne Reed said that there's 5 foot shallower in the winter pool. I can go in on my Humminbird, and there is a setting that I can offset my mounts 5 foot, and we'll put it right back dead on to the winter pool or whatever it may be. And so you can look at that. If it's 5 foot over, you can reset it, and it'll compensate for that right there.
Yep.
So, guys, we're going to get ready to jump off of here tonight. I've had a good time, Chad.
It's been fun.
Even helping here, but we didn't have no
even though Joey just abandoned us, you know.
Do what?
Even though Joey abandoned us.
He lives up there in the sticks of Kentucky. They ain't hardly even got sunlight up there, much less internet service.
Hey, I've seen where you live now.
I can't say a thing, can I?
Not much, brother.
Yeah, you sure right. You sure right. I've enjoyed it. We may see if we can him J.R. Hall to be on here with us next week. I'd love to have him on here if he has the opportunity. He'd be a great one to have on and talking catfishing. Maybe we can get a few pointers from him prior to when we lose.
That's right. I think he's caught 3 fish this year over that 90-pound mark.
Yeah. He's caught some big ones. He sure has. Yep. Yeah. Seth, good to have you, man. Guy, we're going to jump off of here this afternoon. Thank y'all for tuning in with us. Y'all have a blessed afternoon. I want y'all to remember to, let me go on this right here. I want to please remember to pray for Miss Paula Smith. She started her chemo treatments and stuff, or radiation. Please continue to lift her up in prayer. I appreciate that so much. God bless y'all. Y'all have a great afternoon, and we'll see y'all next week.
Have a good night.